This is quite a significant announcement. You say it will affect $100 billion worth of loans in Australia and put $8 billion back in small business owners' pockets.
Thank you. I should just clarify that the Australian Banking Association represents 22 of Australia's banks, so this announcement applies to Australian regional banks and other banks below the four majors. So regardless of who you bank with, this package will apply. The industry has worked very hard over the last 2 or 3 days. They've been working hand in glove with the Treasurer, with the government and with regulators to collectively deliver a lifeline to small businesses that are currently facing devastating impacts from coronavirus. This will apply to more than $100 billion worth of loans on the small business book, and it will potentially put more than $8 billion back into the pockets of small businesses who are really struggling. And I should say that it will apply to all loans that are attached to that small business, including their mortgage, vehicle loans, business loans, etc.
Can we just clarify what you mean by the mortgage vehicle loans? Because I think a lot of people were anticipating today that the banks were going to say that they were going to be giving mortgage holidays payments to people who were struggling with their home loans.
On the home loan front, can I just say this? We have responded today because the most urgent and pressing need in the economy right now is small businesses. Banks are not seeing any significant increase in concerns from mortgage customers about their repayments. What they are seeing is an exponential explosion in calls of distress from their small business customers. Because of a range of interest rate cuts over the last couple of years, most Australian mortgage holders are now several months ahead on their repayments.
Can I just clarify, there was some speculation this morning of banks agreeing to emergency measures, including no defaults on loans, repayment holidays, options to switch to interest-only repayments on mortgages. Those are things that banks already do. That's not part of the announcement today.
Those are the things that banks already do for any customer with a mortgage who is having trouble. And I would say to your listeners, anyone who has trouble or is worried about paying their mortgage should be contacting their bank, because banks are able already to defer payments on mortgages if you're in trouble. This package today gives absolute certainty into the small business sector, which is where the critical issues are, that they can rest assured that with all the problems they're facing, making their loan repayments will not be one of them for the next 6 months.
We do have a lot of people at home who are really worried about making ends meet during coronavirus.
Yes.
This could be 6 months. This is really an extraordinary time. Can the banks afford to do something like this? Is this going to start undermining the ability of banks to finance any loans, to be able to say that they are strong in the face of this?
Australians can rest assured that they have one of the strongest and most stable banking systems in the world. As I said, this package is not only being delivered by the four major banks, but by a range of significant smaller banks. That is a very clear sign to the public that our banks have these buffers. They can access their own capital to make sure they support businesses at this time, and they can do the same to mortgage holders who are in distress. Banks are now better capitalised than they have ever been. And what that means in simple terms is they are holding more money as a buffer for a rainy day, and this is that rainy day, and they are able to access it and provide support where it's needed.
And just to clarify, you're not ruling out any changes to supporting mortgage holders in the future if they do end up being a victim of the coronavirus pandemic, if they do start having trouble making those mortgage repayments. Is that something the bank's considering in the coming weeks?
Just like the government and everybody else out there, we know that this issue is evolving and changing. At this stage, we have not seen any significant evidence across the banks involved that there is any significant growth in mortgage distress. If that changes, then of course banks will look at it. But if there are individuals listening to your program who are worried about their mortgage, they should contact their bank, who already have measures that they can put in place quickly to assist. This was about a large-scale package, $100 billion and more of loans that will be impacted. This could mean $8 billion back into the pockets of small business, and that helps them keep open, keep employing Australians, and that means less people having to worry about their mortgage because they're still in a job.